everybody, and welcome.
It's about the loss of friendship. One friend, she has her own history in being a refugee from a war country. I try to communicate or give the feeling or really respect. But on the other hand, there's something in me saying me, no.
We're trying to play that out.
It's really powerful.
So, hey, small question. How many of you are thinking these days you still might want to work in the center, even if you've written or if you haven't written? Yeah, that's cool. I think it's possible that we might be able to work with everyone in the next couple of days.
If you would like to and you haven't written, you also could write to me and say just one thing, what your topic would be or something. Yeah, okay. Yes, so I think, Ilona, we had talked you might work today, yes? Is that still a good moment?
Okay,
Great.
awesome.
Hello?
Hello. So, louder, yes. The case I brought with, or the situation is, actually it's about friendship.
Okay.
And it's about the loss of friendship.
Okay.
Or the fear of losing.
Friendship.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. So, maybe I elaborate a little bit.
Yes, please.
It's actually about two cases. One friend I have been befriended with for several years. So it was in the period of the COVID pandemic when there was a lot of talking about getting vaccinated or not. And this friend of mine refused that, and that was no problem for me, but for many people in the environment. And at a certain point of time, I realized that she was drawn more and more into that kind of, let's say, fake news community, and even towards a rather right-wing political party. So that was a point of time where I said, oh, I can understand we are in a kind of roles here, but there's a kind of frontier. So let's take a break. And we both agreed on that. And after a couple of weeks, I thought we pick it up and look emotions probably a little bit down. But then she said, no, I want to quit. So that was, I think, almost 2 years ago. So I'm still in the phase of processing this loss and feeling sorry about that, and also about missing her. And there's another friend of mine, so where I now feel there's a kind of shadow above this friendship, in terms of now we have a kind of similar dynamic. We try to avoid the topic now, not in terms to be always in fighting, but the conflict here is about the war going on in Ukraine and Russia, and we have some people from Ukraine and Russia also here. So I feel like with this friend of mine, she has her own history in being a refugee from a war country. So she tells me, from my perspective, it's like just give it to the aggressor, no more people killed, anything is better than war. that's her point from being a refugee from a war country. And from my perspective is I say like, you own the truth because you have first-hand experience I do not have. I grew up in Germany and in a very safe environment. So here my fear is that something similar could happen. It's like a shadow over the friendship. We avoid the topic now. And I try to communicate or give the feeling or really respect that is your experience. But on the other hand, there's something in me saying me no. So again, is this political context where I see from German background, like being one of the initiator of 2 big wars, that's really difficult to deal with. So is that understandable? So the one thing is fear of losing this really precious friendship. But the other hand is also what is happening here, because I feel like it's something that makes me angry hearing, well, the aggressor should take it all better than people being killed. And especially maybe with the German background.
Okay, so thank you.
So what I heard you say, correct me, I'm checking. There's a friendship, in the beginning is something, and then there is a disagreement, and then out of the disagreement, suddenly, or not suddenly, the other group aligns, or you align, or we align here with communities and political movements and what have you, and at this point, that's the end of the personal relationship. Am I right? Okay. So maybe you start a role play and then we go from there.
Great.
So one person says Ukraine is fighting for their independence.
I got
And
it.
the other side says, no, I've been in a war and the polarizations pull the relationships apart.
Yes.
Okay, and we're trying to play that out.
Okay, great. So, do you want to start?
Okay?
Okay.
So, see, I think that Ukraine is fighting for its independence. It is attacked by Russia, which doesn't respect the general international consensus that in a UN consensus that in this time countries no longer can invade others and redraw national boundaries. And I think that we have to defend that and we have to support them, because if we don't support them, this becomes a general issue worldwide and everybody thinks, well, I can actually invade whatever I want and draw the things what I want, and then we have like basically we're back into all this world war, whatever. So we have to make a stand. Something like this?
Okay. Yeah, well, I've been in a war-torn country. I know what that's like. It's not worth it. So we should just forget the fight, give it to the aggressor. It's anyway, probably, who knows what's really going on there, but let's just stop the whole thing now.
Well, so if you feel that, how about our friendship? Now we're starting to have a war with each other. If you don't like the war, why don't you put down the arms and think, okay, this is horrible, I'm very sorry, but at least the Ukrainians and Russians worked it out, because I've been in a war and I just don't want any more victims in it. And I don't want this friendship to become a victim of a geopolitical bullshit.
That's really powerful.
I'm happy here to let my point go, at least temporarily. Because I also feel I'm split. So I feel strongly on one side, but I also feel at times that why not just give in a conflict, because the price you pay for standing your ground is too high. I do feel that at times.
It makes, I don't know, but it makes me think you like me as a friend.
Well, I like you more than being right.
That's nice.
Yeah, what do you think?
I would want to like you more than being right.
Okay, what we're going to do with this political stuff that's between us? Any suggestions?
Well, it sort of, I don't know what, but for me it seems to have disappeared in the moment because there was a strength in your reaching under the thing to me that it's sort of like my brain does not hold.
Oh, good. Oh, good.
Yeah.
Well, I know only one thing.
Okay.
If there ever was a war and you were on the other side, I might shoot everybody else, but I won't be able to shoot you. Now, the only question is, if there's a war, would you be able to shoot me?
Wow. I mean, there's certainly not, I would want to say.
No? Friendship's more important for you than nationalism and national independence, and it is?
Yeah.
Okay, me
When
too.
you put it that way. Wow.
Now, that doesn't mean that I wouldn't fight for Ukraine, but if it was you on the other side, I would say, get out of the way, please.
Wow.
Because for me, friendship comes first.
That's really touching.
Do you like?
Wow.
Yeah, I feel a relief, and I also like, oh, yes, it's so easy. Friendship comes first, and I'm wondering why in being in that relationship with this friend, this talking about what is the underlying connection. Couldn't have enough space so far. So, because from heart to heart, we know that. I mean, even with saying it, we know
play.
from heart to heart.
Okay, now you play you.
Yeah.
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 And I'm being the friend.
Okay.
Okay.
So you're now saying to me that you wouldn't, in that kind of conflict, you wouldn't shoot. So that's something actually I knew already from heart to heart, because we have this connection from heart to heart. And
yeah, but you see, we have this connection, but knowing that we have this connection doesn't exist till it's being said.
You mean till it's being said?
You never said to me explicitly, look, I don't agree with your opinion, but the truth is, this friendship is more important for me than the opinion. You never said, I love you, I don't want to lose you. You never said that, like this.
Like this, that's true.
Yeah. So, and for me, that's what it comes down to.
Yeah.
You know, it's like say, well, you know I love you. Actually, no, I don't.
Yeah.
I don't know that you love me. I'm like, I came here from a war-torn country. I don't know that people love me unless they tell me and show me. So, like.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I would like to show.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now I feel over here that gives me hope for our relationship. And it gives me hope that our friendship will survive.
Yeah.
Because the truth is, if you say, why can we not come together? Then I think, like, I don't really care why we can't come together. I just want to come together. I don't want to have a political conversation only why this can't happen.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel connected again to that, what is really between us. Yeah.
It's really touching.
And and I feel like this pressure that I need to stick to that topic or either avoid it and feeling not really or feeling unclear with it. That pressure isn't there any longer. Yeah.
Thank you for meeting me as a human. And over here I can feel that you struggle with nationalism, positive and negative nationalism. We have to stand our ground, and as a German I have to do this or that, and as a German I have responsibility for this, but you're not responsible for what happened in World War II. It wasn't just because of you, there was other forces involved. No, I mean, no?
Yeah.
So you can't carry the whole burden for whatever happened in World War II and now bring it into all your relationships. It's too much for one person.
Wow.
You agree?
Yeah, fully.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I like the idea that you want to take responsibility for that. It's too much for one person. And you need friends. And I need friends, and we need friends in the midst of all of this. Occasionally remember we're friends. It is important.
Yes.
Wow.
Absolutely.
This is amazingly touching. Wow.
Yeah.
Beautiful. This is gorgeous. Wow.
So after this, what do you think could happen now with your friend?
Actually, I would like to reframe that or share that with her. And I think probably her answer would be, I already knew that. I mean, in terms of you not telling me something new.
Play her.
Yeah.
So listen, I've been working on myself, and I felt on my side that there was a shadow over our friendship started to be overshadowed by political opinions, whatever. And I noticed I don't want to lose you as a friend. And if that means that I might temporarily not talk about political issues, whatever, but I don't know. But all I know is I don't want to lose you as a friend. I love you. I don't want to lose you as a friend.
Yeah. I love you too. And I haven't noticed that shadow because from the culture I come from, it's totally normal that there can be different opinions, even politically, but friends stay friends, family stay family. So that can't be broke up.
But when you say in my culture, it's okay to stay friends and have different opinions, I catch myself thinking, you little liar, you. You're just trying to get out of the fact of saying, well, thank you for making the first step. I have suffered also with it because I also don't want to lose you as a friend. And I'm also become now Central European, where I don't say to people, I love you, I want to keep you, I have my friendship with you. But now what you're saying is actually you changed in the narrative as you went along and told me, yeah, this is an edge for the both of us. And maybe this is a new thing in this world, that one talks directly about that and say, no, this friendship is more important for me than my political conviction. With you, now with everybody. There's 5 other people. I realized my political conviction is more important because my friendship was never all that strong anyhow. That's one thing. But with you, it actually means something for me. I don't want to end up lonely and missing you, if there is a chance.
Yeah. That's the same I feel. I mean, no more words actually needed. Yeah.
It's so touching.
But that needs to be said.
Yeah, those words are needed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. you know, there is a joint edge here. You know, in relationships, there is like complementary edges, and then there is joint edges. So it's the same edge. Like, we don't have to we don't talk about this.
Yeah.
We don't talk about this. I mean, don't we know this, right?
Right. Don't tell, you don't have to say I love you, because don't
No.
you just know that?
Yeah.
Like
Well, you never say you love me. Yeah, but you know that. Well, that's nothing to do with me knowing it or not. We're talking about you not telling me. No? So, you know, you also say, look at the beautiful flowers.
Yeah.
But the flowers know that, but you still say it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
don't you think it's a joint edge?
It's a joint edge,
And
for
then,
sure.
and then the belonging to that joint edge are two things that reinforce, the system reinforces each other. The first thing is, well, if I say it, the other person will say, well, I knew that. So I'm not going to start to go over the edge, because if I go over the edge, the other person will say, I don't know why you went over the edge, because obviously this was not even in my culture, it's not an edge, it's completely normal. You know what I mean? So don't buy that for a second, because you're not schizophrenic. If you feel it's not coming from the other side, it's based on some sort of a signal.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is trying to figure out why it happens. You know? Or you talk to each other why it's happening. Why is it that you're more, well, I think it's maybe because of this, and that kills the friendship.
Relationship
It
fire.
kills the friendship, because it makes it a rational strategy issue.
Sorry, what does make the rational thing?
Strategy.
You like, let's say you're saying to me, Max, yesterday you said this or that hurt my feelings. And then I say to you, yeah, well, the reason why I said that was because of A, B, and C. And then I think that's also because, like, I have their parental issue. I think that's why I said it. Now you know why I said it, but it doesn't deal with the fact that your feelings were hurt. You follow me? So it's a trap. It's a rational trap. If I only understand what's happening, understanding what's happening is not a bad thing, but it doesn't deal with anything yet that's happening.
Yeah. It keeps you, it's like keeps you even further away from coming more direct and close with Ilona, and how the political part was connected with the relationship, and then thinking about it, and then it was really powerful to come to the actual relationship and how the other stuff went so differently away. So it was really amazing. And then to feel the relationship edge to actually be intimate or say something direct, and how that has played out in so many different circumstances.
Yes.
Yeah.
And also this joint edge, that was something.
Yeah, the shared edge.
The shared one, that was something I wasn't aware about at all. So something I really discovered. Yeah.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Yeah, because this can help, so that when you go over it and the other one says, well, I knew this, or I don't know about you, but it's not a problem. That then you think, okay, that's now an edge for the other person too. Let me help them over. Right? So, like, for example, you can say, if you have a sense of humor in this, you can say, you little liar, you. That's just not true. I know you. You've never said directly to me, you love me and you miss me. And now you're hiding this behind your culture? No. You're just sometimes a cold fish, and I hate you for that. This is going to make it also more real. And then, you understand? The moment you notice that the moment you become real, people are relieved as a whole.
Yeah.
No? the tension is if you're talking, explaining and talking around the bush, but the moment it's out, generally people feel relieved. And how this is like this whole radical honesty, which, by the way, radical honesty is a complicated issue. I'm for radical being. Sometimes it means radical honesty, sometimes it means radical lying.
Explain.
What?
I want to know about, can you tell me about what do you mean when you say radical lying?
Radical lie?
Uh-huh.
Radical lie means a Japanese dinner.
Japanese dinner.
Yes. If you work as a consultant in Japan, we worked for many years as consultants in Japan. So Japanese corporations, I don't know if that's still the case at the time, was if it went really well, they said at the end, okay, we'll write you soon about future work. Bye-bye. If it didn't go well, and you let's say you had a project that didn't go well, they say, this was amazing. We really appreciate it, and we want to invite you tonight for a dinner. And you go to a really expensive, beautiful Japanese restaurant, and it's a perfect meal with virgin fish sushi
The
from
last
somewhere.
meal.
Yeah.
And everybody's super nice to you, and they say, thank you so much for your work, and you never hear of them again. It's called radical lying. You follow this? We don't want to shame you. We don't want to say, actually, that really sucked, and we're not going to waste our money with you anymore, because that goes against the culture.
Yes.
So they say, no, we honor you. We honor the fact that your effort and everything, and we're going to do that, and we're going to break this up in a way that you feel still in a strange way celebrated and appreciated and understood. You follow me?
Yeah, sure.
That's a different way
Yes.
of doing it. And it's also very beautiful. It's disorienting when it happens the first time, but it's also really beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. So,
Thank you.
thank you. So, in my fantasy, it can be something like we are both discovering this joint edge, and that will be a new bonding in that friendship.
Beautiful.
So that's
Yes,
really the
yes.
idea I have.
Theme,
of
when
the,
you say it, it's so
yeah,
beautiful.
so that's actually the idea that I have for the next being together.
Beautiful.
Gorgeous.
Beautiful.
Oh, I look forward
Thank
to that
you.
for you.
Yeah, thank
Thank
you.
you.
You know, one of the French singers, I think it might have been, I'm not sure, Charles Brassens or Boris Vian, you know? They're both French singers. And they both were during World War II. And during World War II, one of them was drafted by the Germans into a work camp. And then he came to Germany, and he was in a work labor camp. He worked in a work labor camp. And after about 3 or 4 years in the work labor camp, he had a weekend. You got a weekend off to go back to your family. But it was in World War II, so the whole thing was strongly policed. So if you wouldn't go back, you know, whatever the German police would find you and arrest you. So he went back, and he went to visit a couple of his, some old friends, and he stayed with them, and he decided not to go back. And he stayed with them till the end of the war. And they were living in a small, you can visit it in Paris, they lived in a small apartment, and they lived together, the couple and him, basically in a 1-room, 2-room apartment. till the end of the war. And he created many political songs. And when the war was over, they decided not to move out and not to split up. And they stayed together for the rest of their lives, the three of them, in that small apartment. Because in the midst of all this crisis, they discovered the love and the friendship among them, and they realized they didn't want to trade that to any other thing. Can't you understand that? Even it wasn't comfortable space-wise, and it was like two men for years in a small room with one woman, one couple, and one third person. And somehow they worked all of this out because they had to, and had to go so deep and understood this is so precious, we don't ever want to give that up.
Amazing.
Don't you understand it after this work?
Yes.